We start in southern Japan, where Okinawa is the latest prefecture to be put under the coronavirus state of emergency. Okinawa has seen its case numbers soar. The state of emergency went into effect there on Sunday and is scheduled through June 20th. All dining establishments that serve alcohol have been asked to close for the time being. Many public facilities are also closed. The main street in the city of Naha is normally bustling with shoppers and tourists on a Sunday.
Up until yesterday, I could see a few people on the street. Now there's no one. It's a chilling sight.
I'm not going out, except to go to the supermarket.
The central government is trying to speed up the vaccine rollout. U.S. pharmaceutical firm Moderna's vaccine has arrived in Aichi Prefecture. The prefecture will start inoculating the elderly at 2 large sites on Monday. The Japanese government approved the use of the vaccine on Friday. An official says a total of 20,000 doses were delivered on Sunday and that up to 2,000 doses can be administered per day at one site. Japanese officials confirmed over 4,000 new cases and 62 deaths on Sunday. The number of coronavirus patients in serious condition has risen to a record high of 1,304. With the Tokyo Olympics opening in 2 months, vaccinations against the coronavirus are accelerating for athletes and staff. The International Olympic Committee and the Tokyo Organizing Committee have reiterated their commitment to holding safe and secure games. The IOC is spearheading the vaccinations amid uncertainty over when the pandemic will finally be brought under control. North and South American Olympic committees are working to secure 6,000 doses of a one-shot vaccine to be administered at U.S. airports. IOC President Thomas Bach expects at least 80% of athletes, coaches, and other staff to get a shot before staying at the Olympic Village. Japanese athletes and staff can opt to be vaccinated starting in June. They will receive doses provided by Pfizer, separate from supplies for the general public. Turning to the Middle East, where a ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants has been holding, but there are growing fears that the coronavirus will spread in the Gaza Strip. One of the reasons is a slow vaccine rollout. This clinic in northern Gaza was the only vaccination center for the area, but the clinic suspended operations after coming under attack. At least 400 vaccine doses have reportedly gone to waste. Gaza's medical care system has gone from bad to worse due to airstrikes. Gaza's health ministry says 2 doctors have been killed. This medical institution is one of the largest in Gaza. It suspended all services when a nearby building was bombed.
Losing the central laboratory will certainly affect negatively the performance of our facilities again to combat corona. 2 other primary health care clinics that were totally annihilated.
There is also concern the virus could spread in shelters for displaced people. Many civilians lost their homes during the 11 days of fighting. At one time, up to 70,000 evacuees were taking shelter at UN-run school facilities. 50 people were reportedly living in each classroom without enough face masks to go around. The UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees is working to protect evacuees from the coronavirus.
The focus was on protecting lives during the fighting, but we have shifted to preventing infections. The priority is on antivirus measures while working on reconstruction.
SETA is also stressing the need for psychological care for children who have been affected by the conflict. Vietnam held elections on Sunday for its National Assembly. Attention is focused on how many independent candidates will be chosen by voters. A total of 866 candidates are competing for 500 seats. The elections are held every 5 years. Coronavirus infections started resurging in Vietnam late last month. Voters wore masks, disinfected their hands, and had their temperatures checked before casting their ballots. At a polling station in the capital Hanoi, Communist Party leader Nguyen Phu Trong urged people to vote.
Voters should fulfill their rights and obligations. They should have a clear mind to choose the most suitable candidates.
Under the country's one-party rule, candidates must pass mandatory screening to run. Of the 9 independent candidates, one is openly gay and aims to expand the rights of sexual minorities. The communist government is apparently trying to ease discontent with one-party rule by approving candidates with diverse backgrounds. 21 people have died in northwest China after the weather turned bad during a marathon through a mountainous area. State-run television says 172 people took part in the 100-kilometer race. It was held on Saturday at a tourist spot in Baiyin City, Gansu Province. The area is more than 1,500 meters above sea level. It was struck shortly after midday by strong winds, hail, and rain. Runners struggled near the peak around 30 kilometers from the start. Some people went missing. Rescuers worked through the night to save those who couldn't carry on, but many succumbed to hypothermia caused by near-freezing temperatures. Local media say government organizers failed to warn the runners of the risk of cold weather. The forecast had called for a daytime high of 19 degrees Celsius. Many of the runners were wearing light clothes as a result. Questions are being raised on social media about the safety measures in place for the marathon. A Buddhist memorial service has been held for a Sri Lankan woman who died after falling ill at an immigration detention facility in central Japan. The service for 33-year-old Wishma Sandamali took place at a temple she had visited before being detained in August last year for overstaying her visa. Wishma fell ill in January and died 2 months later. She was examined by doctors in February but was not hospitalized. The Immigration Services Agency is looking into whether her case was handled properly. Her sisters attended the service. One of them, Wyoming, said she is grateful that the temple held the memorial. She urged the immigration authorities to disclose footage of her sister that was taken at the facility and the results of their probe into her death. Turning now to the results of the Summer Grand Sumo Tournament, Terunofuji has beaten his fellow Ozeki Takakeisho in a playoff to capture his 4th title. Takakeisho had caught up with Terunofuji by defeating him in the tournament's final bout. That left both men with 12 wins and 3 losses. But in the Sunday playoff, Terunofuji slapped Takakeisho down to win the title. It was his 2nd in a row. It made Terunofuji the first Ozeki in over 3 decades to win a tournament right after returning to that rank. He lost the Ozeki title in 2017, suffering from poor health and knee injuries. He dropped down to the 2nd lowest division known as Jonidan.
I took each and every match with great seriousness. I think that is what ultimately led to this victory.
The 29-year-old Mongolia native is also the first wrestler to win back-to-back titles since Yokozuna Grand Champion Kakuryu in 2018. Kakuryu won both the spring and summer tournaments that year. Those were the stories for this hour.
Officials in eastern Congo say the lava flow from a volcano erupting has stopped just short of the city of Goma. They say at least 5 people were killed as thousands fled. The frontman of the Italian actor that won yesterday's Eurovision Song Contest says he'll take a voluntary drugs test over speculation about this footage.